This is Old Electronics Fan, and this is part 3. As I mentioned at the end of part 2, time got away from me and I just lost track of time. I guess that's being redundant, but that's what happened. Didn't realize how long that video was going to be, and there was no good place to cut it to try to fit in more of what I'd already recorded. So I decided to cut it where I did, and so now we are picking up with the micro switches that make this thing operate. Micro switches are noted for having issues, and they were used a lot in a lot of things, but they had their problems. And this one is no exception, especially given how old it is. So that's what we tackle next. Now, the other thing I did mention before was that I wanted to look at these guys here. Oh boy, is that? No, it isn't. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. I want to show you what I was kind of concerned about. Let's go here. Now, maybe I can do this a little bit more. Yeah, let's turn this just a wee bit more. And yeah, so see these little plastic parts right here? Those are, I assume, along with the fact that this is molded in between, I believe that these were there to strengthen this connector block. And what's happened to the one I was just on is that this is split all the way down the whole length of this, so that it's doing that number. It's just opening up on me. So I want to see if these are healthy or not. And it looks like they are. Why they look fine. Interesting. Oh, before I put this all back together, there's a couple more things I want to do. I want to deal with these. I'll check all of these. I checked the playback one. And this needs to be screwed back into place. Alright, so that. Let's close that down. Okay, so let's back off here. So this board needs to be screwed back into place. I'm not sure it helped me all that much to unscrew that, but I did. It looks like all 4 of them had washers on them. And, oh, I do have 4 washers, okay. For a minute there I thought I only had 3. I tried to put things back exactly the way they were. I try. There's usually a reason for why the manufacturer does what they do. Sometimes I don't know why they do what they do, but there's usually a reason for it. Although I have seen some bad ideas from manufacturers that did not work out so well, and a modification was necessary later, which I was happy to supply on some occasions. But I think long and hard about that, about making a change. And sometimes it's obvious, it's pretty clear. Other times I ask myself, do I fully understand what is going on here? And do I understand it well enough to make a change? And if the answer to that is not yes, then I don't do it. I've got to be sure that what I'm the change I'm going to make. Oh, come on. I have to make sure that the change I'm going to make is actually indeed going to be for the better about doing that. One of the things you had to be aware of, especially when you were working on, oh, there you go. No, I made the mistake of tightening them all. I know better. Or at least some of them anyway. Come on. There it goes. Back when you had floppy disks, especially the 5 1/4, or cassettes. If you had a magnetized screwdriver, and you got it too close to one of those, the screw wander away. So it's handy sometimes to have a magnetized screwdriver, and I actually have this. If you run it through the center of this, if you run this right through the hole, through the center of this, it magnetizes the screwdriver. If you go across it, it demagnetizes the screwdriver. You have to do it more than once. Back in the days when I was working on equipment, let's see. Alright, so I ran my screwdriver through here, it magnetized the screwdriver, and now it holds the screw. I've had this sitting here forever and I've not used it. Then you do this routine, and it's no longer magnetized. So I should probably use that more than I do. I didn't think of it till I just happened to glance up there and see it. I said, oh yeah, I got that tool. Sometimes it's helpful for stuff like this. Your screwdriver stays on the end of your, or the screw stays on the end of your screwdriver better, and then it makes life a little easier. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I think that my Beckman actually is the better tool for measuring micro switches. To tell you the truth, I'm kind of surprised at that, because I've been using, and it's not to say the analogs don't work, but the results I was getting out of this was rather surprising. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my, oh yeah. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my playback one. And this one was acting pretty funky. I had to actually hold it in for a minute before it would respond. Can I get into that connection? Okay, let's let this open a bit. That means I have them shorted together on the connector, which is not what I wanted. There we go. Oh, come on. So much fun. Let's go. Let me in there. Let me make the nice connection. Seemed to me I had this working at one point. Alright, let's try this. Okay. Now I did hit this, well, did I? Maybe not. That actually looks good. Does this have... Okay, so this one only has 2 wires on it. This one has 3. And so there's that one has 2, and this one has 2. Alright, well, anyway. So, yeah. This is, I think I mentioned I thought that this was an 80s vintage. Based on what I've read since, I think it's actually a 70s vintage, which kind of surprises me. It's definitely older than I thought. There. Can we get in there and see? Maybe. This is so much fun, trying to squeeze into places that not a lot of room. I'm not there. Right, I should have. Right, so this one should be normally closed. Back one should be. Is that right? I think so. What's this one say? Normally opens on top. Okay. That's what I thought. So. Oh. I'm not able to get to connection. Come on. There we go. Alright, that one's okay. Next. Now you might be wondering why I'm doing this. Well, I'm going to show you why in a minute with that other switch that I opened up kind of semi-violently. Alright, let's see. Let's see how you look. Because these switches were not behaving. Come on. No. That's not good. That's horrible. That switch is bad. Alright, what about you? Well, can I get in there? No, maybe, maybe not. Maybe I can get in there, right behind that. Maybe. That one looks good. Okay, that one looks good. Oh, yeah, I've already decided that one's not happy. One more up here. That has 3 also. But let's check the top one. There. Alright. Now I don't know how available these micro switches are. Okay. So that's okay. How about the back? So it looks like I got that one. And that might work out well if I can fix the other one that I've already opened up. So the way these are set up is there's a common connection in the middle, and then one side is normally open and one side isn't. And so the bottom connection is normally closed. Oh, come on. Ew. Come on, let's go. Not getting much of a connection here. Right. Let's see if let's see how much of a pain that's going to be. Wow. No. There. This one's almost free. You might have put some locking paint on there or something. Might be why they're coming out so hard. Yep, that's what it looks like they did. Ah. And I guess we're going to clip that, so I want to get that out. And I could use a zip tie if I need to. Alright, now, let's see. Now that I have you out where I can get at you, let's make my life easier by using these. So my black goes there. That way I don't have to think about which one I'm connecting and not connecting. Well, that is connected there, so well, what is going on? Do I have a bad connection? That's there. That doesn't look good at all. Huh. This switch doesn't appear to be working at all. Yeah, it's not. Oh, yeah. 130 ohms. So that switch isn't working. How nice. Oh. So that one's bad. Alright, so let's get pointed at that one. And well, why did I turn that off? I don't know. Now, when I first put the meter on this, it's back here. This is pretty dirty looking. So let's see how this one behaves. There's something weird going on. That should not be. What is going on? I'll use this one. Alright, so if I go down here to the normally closed, So now I go to the normally open. Oops. Really? Oh, okay. Alright, it's not great. This switch was replaced because it wasn't helping. So, I have at least one switch in here that is not behaving well. What can I do with this? Well, I don't know if it's going to work if I try to. Because there's glue in here, yeah, it's not going to go. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to... These are supposed to be silver plated, by the way, I think. Some of them are. So I'm going to take a piece of paper and then I'm going to fold it in half. Now this is an experiment, so we'll see how this works. I'm folding it in half to give it some strength and give it some rigidity a little bit, and then I'm going to try to yeah, let's do this. And so I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to activate the switch. I'm going to try to clean it up. So I'm just... So I'm going in where the, on the open side, come on, fine, be that way. And I'm pushing this in, try to put some tension on it. And now, with the other side, and I push in on my button to release that side, and then I close it. If this doesn't work, then my next step would be to drag out my fine sandpaper and see what that does. I have cleaned these switches before. It's been so long since I've done that. That's not great. Okay. Alright, so what about this side? Okay, it seems like it's behaving now. Oops. Okay. And if I hold that here, yeah, so I'm getting the same measurement when I short out my leads as I am through the switch. So, what I'm going to do, which is going to delay me putting this back together a bit, is I'm going to take this switch. I'm going to use this stuff right here. My silicone tube. There's other things I could use. I could use epoxy, but I use this because this is safe around electrical wiring and such. And if I had to take this apart in the future, hopefully not, but if I had to, just pry it out because it's relatively soft. So I'm going to flush this out. so that this has something to hold on to. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to, I'm not going to do that on camera, because it looks like I've got, actually let's go back and check that one. So I changed my lead. Yeah, so this went from 130 odd ohms when I first tried it to being really good. So, okay, that's alright. And there. And we'll check, make sure we're there. And why for are you misbehaving? You're not, are you? Alright, let's check this. Okay, that's good. Oh. Alright. That's bad. Yeah, so that is definitely unhealthy. Okay. So that needs to be replaced. So what I'm going to probably do is fix this one. Well, put the lid back on it, glue it back on, and take that one out. And the way I got into this, by the way, if you're wondering, is I got my really fine cutting disc. I just cut along the edges to break it loose. And if I, as I look at this, ooh, I may not have to do all that. Okay, let's see if we can, I'm going to show you something, because I think maybe this is not as much trouble or work as I thought it might be. Screwdriver. Alright. Here's what they did. This part, all from here back to here, there. From here back to here has no glue on it. Doesn't look like any glue there. Doesn't appear to be any glue there. It's all right here. So I could probably do the same thing. No, what I think I'm going to do, I really don't want the silicone to be too close to this. So I'll probably just run a line here, and a dab here, and a dab back here. Because that probably, yeah. Yeah, probably the only way I can do this, I'm probably going to have to cut across here. My Dremel cut here. I may not have to cut there. Oh, actually no. This was also, looks like this was also glued. Yep. So they had a little tiny bit of glue here and a bit of glue here and a bunch right there. So if I cut across this, oh, I had it glued right there really well. Interesting. Oh yeah, you can see where it tore free. Well, I'll have to see what happens. So I'm going to clean this up, glue it together, and I probably could put it together while that's setting up, solder that in place, and then move on to the next bad switch. Okay, well, I replaced, or repaired actually, the switches that were bad. I think, how many did I repair? 2 or 3? But they all test good now, so I'm happy with that. I did discover something interesting. If there's any question about mice being in here, it's been laid to rest. These 2 wires, the mice got to. They had them chewed half through. What's that? Oh, solder. Well, anyway. Alright, get that out of there. So they hadn't broken the wires, but I ran a bead of solder across both sections where they'd been chewed on to tie it back together again, and put a little shrink tube on there, just to avoid having these short together or something fun like that. Now, the other thing though was we have some sketchy brakes. So, let's see. Can I? Yes. So I'm going to see if there's anything I can do right now to help the brakes. There was a lot of dust and dirt on them when I first started using it. I tried to reach around behind and clean them, but oh yeah, I'm not sure. Huh. Interesting. Feels like leather. And it also looks like it's gotten, I don't know if that's grease or what that is. Whoops. That's go out of the way. Oh, and I forgot to show you something else that I discovered when I was looking at the back. Show you that in a minute. Come on. That? I think it will work a lot better if I get all that crud out of there. Yeah. Fingernails. Good for more than just protecting your fingers. But you knew that. Yeah, must have gotten greased. Maybe too enthusiastically? I don't know. Of course, now I've got it all wet. I won't be able to tell if that's made any difference or not. I'm sure it will have. The adhesive on this stuff is a little sketchy. The rest of it's still there, but if I'm uncareful, if I move too abruptly, I could rip that right off, I have a feeling. Try to avoid that. Well, I wonder if I should dare. I'm going to try to dry it really quickly with my heat gun. If I get it too hot, I'll probably terminate that adhesive. Don't want to do that. Well, let me put that in there and see. Oh, this. Let me show you this. This pipe right here, I showed you putting a little bit of oil in there. When I got around in back of there, about this much of the pipe had oil in it, and then none had made it to the motor. So I pulled this pipe all the way through, and I kept forcing it through. It's possible that I put a little too much on there now, but there wasn't any getting where it belonged, so that was a problem, because it's really not helpful. I mean, like I said, this thing's been sitting for a very long time, and so So I guess it's not too surprising that the wick and all the oil had dried up completely. So um, well, I think it's, oh, I should probably clean that too. I didn't think to do that beforehand, because there's cut on the brake. There's probably stuff on the brake drum. Doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't hurt to clean it, I guess. Yeah, it's going to look pretty. Yeah, that was pretty dirty. So, well, I think there is a difference, but yeah, that was pretty bad too. So let's start by cleaning the brake drum first, so I won't forget. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. The zoom is handy, but far too often I forget to adjust it. Darn. Alright, yeah, that's pretty dirty. Now, come back to you. Yeah, that's not great. That leather seems like it's gotten kind of hard in that area. So it's quite possible that this leather is no longer great, but what the heck, I'm going to try it anyway. Boy, it's really in there. Whatever get ground in there, it just doesn't want to come out. Where's my screwdriver? Come on. Alright, I'm just using the tip of my screwdriver to try to get rid of the stuff that my fingernail won't do. Shocker. Yeah, that was kind of messy. Now let's try scrubbing it down. This is a all-purpose cleaner. It's supposed to deal with grease too. And I guess it does somewhat. I wouldn't call it a degreaser, but I don't really want to hit this with real degreaser. Yes, right there. Don't go away on me. Here we are. No. Guess there's a little magnetism left from me playing with my magnet. Maybe I should magnetize this, make it easier. Nah, I'll get it. There. I do remember there were places in some of the copiers and things where a magnetized screwdriver was a big deal. Well, I may have to look for some soft leather strips, the real deal, and replace those. Since that is what that appears to be, leather, I should be able to find some. Can't exactly go down to my Sony store and say, hey, I'd like some leather brake pads. Once I got done rolling on the floor, they'd say no. So let's see here. Where am I at? Oh, yeah. So the pipe goes around and goes into a motor on the back. And when you're working on this and you're trying to get oil into this, I would definitely suggest that you look on the back and see how far the oil has gotten. Now, there's a real possibility I may have over-oiled that. I tried not to, but I was in the course of trying to force the oil in to get it where I wanted it to go. I may have applied a little bit too much. Because so I took this. Again, I should know better than hold it by that, but I do it all the time. Alright, so I would force it here, try to line it up as best I could, and just keep pulsing the oil to it to try to force it in, and that actually did work. Made a little bit of a mess, but I'm tempted to melt the end of that with something hot, but I'm afraid I'm going to over melt it. And, well, anyway. Okay, so where am I at? Let me think. Well, I think I can go ahead and put this back together. Oh. The other thing I ran into is there were nuts on the back of this, on the back of the gauge, and there's one left here. The other one seems to have gone south. I don't know where it went. I wasn't looking for it, but I didn't see it when I took this apart. Yeah, let's see, that would be right about there. And that nut is a good enough size to short things out. I don't see it, and I don't recall seeing it in the case when I was taking all the mouse droppings out of it. But, alright, so let's put this back together. Just looking to see if my mouse, actually I want to put another nut on there, don't I? Oh. Okay, I just saw. Another shell somewhere. And it needs to get it out because I can't get to it easily. My fingertips. Now where is it? I just looked at it and I don't remember where I saw it. That's not good. Well, maybe I should take this nut out so I can try to match. That would be fun to get back in though. I know I probably have lots of screws, probably very few nuts to fit that. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, boy, did I get lucky. The first tray I looked in. Alright. I don't know what the deal with loose fasteners is. These last two things I've worked on. Very strange. Oh, I should have, no, I didn't think to do that. That's not small enough. Well, yeah, 10 mil. Let's see. Well, what are you? 6. What were you? Oh, 5. Okay. Well, let's see. Does that work? Yes. Oh, no. Huh. Interesting. This is a 5 and this is a 6. And the 6 doesn't work very well. Nope. Rats. What do I have? What do I have? Let's see. I'm not sure. And 7:30 seconds maybe. That is it. 7:30 seconds. Interesting. Come on. Let go. It's interesting for a Japanese-made product. It might be a 5.5 millimeter socket, which I don't have. I'm not sure, but it's possible. But 7:30 seconds works. Okay, well, I'm hoping those line up properly. Well, I got sidetracked by a phone call and didn't record putting this all back together, but I did wind up loosening up the screws for one of these, and actually that still doesn't look entirely straight. Oh, it looks like somebody with a soldering iron got to that. Lovely. Didn't even notice that before. Yikes. Anyway, so as you can see, it's all back together. I'm hoping all these switches work good. However, getting back to the connector on the back of this in a minute, but I'm going to wrap up. This is part 3. I'm going to wrap up part 3 right here because I want to go straight into some of the other repairs I've got to do, and that's going to take a whole lot more time than I want to stick on to the end of this video. So hopefully you've watched to this point and will join me for part 4.